If there's one thing that's really been missing in San Francisco's secondary, it's been a true ball hawk, but luckily for Saleh, I think they just found that in their nickel cornerback filling in for Upton Stout and Chase Lucas. In this most recent Falcons game, for instance, he continually was able to read the wide receiver's route, then jump it, and almost got an interception several times in this game. On top of that, he was able to find his way into the backfield, hit the quarterback, and even had a fumble recovery. And it's not just me who thinks he's dominant, as PFF gave him an overall grade of 73.9 so far in the year, ranking him the 19th cornerback out of 175 cornerbacks. And while PFF grades aren't everything, his grade is substantially higher than all of San Francisco's other cornerbacks on the year. So in this video, I'm going to go over why I believe the 28-year-old cornerback in Chase Lucas should replace the rookie in Upton Stout. Initially to start, this says a lot more about Lucas than it does say about Stout, because Stout has performed well for a rookie, but Lucas just looks different this year. Not only is he in the prime of his career, athletically speaking, but also mentally. You can just tell he's on the same page the offense is. He does a ton of film study every single week. To really exemplify this point, here the Falcons are motioning Drake London pre-snap to give an indicator to Penix if it's zone or man coverage, and because Chase Lucas is following this wide receiver right here, he then knows it is man coverage. So his first read becomes Drake London, who's attacking Chase Lucas with an out pattern, and he's also snapping this while he's moving right here to really take advantage of this pre-snap motion. And here you can see how this really starts to challenge Chase Lucas, but because he understands the play, he's reading this route, knows that most likely it's going to be an out-breaking route. So before this wide receiver is even fully coming out of his break, Chase Lucas is breaking towards this ball, undercuts this route, and nearly gets the interception right here. I think in the future, if he continues to start, he's going to start running some of these back the other direction. I mean, you've seen these type of plays during the preseason, and this is just the continuation of that growth. And it's not just his man coverage that's really been impressive, but he's also impressed me with his zone coverage. He does a great job of using his hands to disrupt wide receivers entering his zone, and then once he sees a quarterback targeting a player in his zone, often he'll try to set him up and then jump the route once again. Here on this play, for example, he's responsible for the flats, but initially I love how he's disrupting the slot wide receiver, crossing his face to help out the back half of his defense, and then seeing this tight end break out to his zone, he then starts to jump this route. And while he wasn't able to get the interception once again on this play, I think with more playing time, he's only going to improve his play recognition, and because of his gambling tendencies, he's going to start running some of these back like I was already mentioning. Another part of his game that's pretty hard to ignore in Saleh's defense is just how great he is as a blitzing nickelback. And then once he's blitzed a couple of times, he uses this to get inside the quarterback's head. To really illustrate this point, here on this play, he's coming on the nickel cornerback blitz, but pre-snap, it looks like he's potentially just guarding the slot wide receiver. I mean, right here, Penix is looking directly at him, and Chase Lucas is showing, yeah, he's not going to be coming on the blitz. Then as soon as this ball is snapped, he uses this momentum of this wide receiver motioning to also motion closer to the line, and because Chase Lucas is such a freak athlete on this play, he's able to instantly find his way into the backfield, get the hit on Penix, and force an incompletion. But maybe more importantly, he put it in the back of Penix's mind that yes, he potentially can be coming on the blitz, and Lucas uses this to his advantage. Here on this play, for example, Saleh is showing that he is sending the all-out blitz, but will be dropping off everyone into coverage. And here, Chase Lucas is able to further sell this because once Penix looks over his direction, he motions over pre-snap like he's coming on the blitz like we saw last play. Penix then hurries it up, tries to get the snap, thinking that most likely Chase Lucas is coming on the blitz, so he wants to throw towards his direction to beat this blitz. But post-snap, immediately, you can see how Chase Lucas drops right where Penix is looking to throw the ball. This confusion then causes Penix to have to take the sack, so even though Chase Lucas didn't register a stat on this play, he's a big reason why this was a successful play for the defense. And I would argue this was his overarching theme on the day. He continually shut down the offense's first option. Maybe you didn't see it initially, but he's a big reason why most plays weren't successful. To highlight this point, here on this play, he's in man coverage on this slot wide receiver, but because they motioned this outside wide receiver pre-snap, his responsibilities then become him, and once again, he's the player they're trying to target on this play if he is in man coverage, because this wide receiver is able to build up all this momentum. And right here, you can even see Penix reading him, but because Chase Lucas stays in his hip pocket and then jumps this little curl route, which forces Penix to move off his first initial read and then throw it to the outside, which ultimately is an incompletion. So once again, even though Chase Lucas isn't registering literally any stat on this play, he's making an underappreciated impact. The final aspect of his pass coverage I wanted to touch on is how he's always looking to attack the ball. Here in zone coverage, he's reading Penix, and with him seeing this ball come out, he's attacking it. Many players might have just allowed this to bounce outside, thinking it's just an incomplete pass. But Chase Lucas here attacks this ball and gets the ball for San Francisco's offense, making a huge play for this team. And this was just routine for him in this game. Outside of his pass coverage, when Lucas was challenged in the running game, he showed off pretty nice aggression, and I love the way he attacked blocks. Here on this play, for example, Lucas is lined up almost like another linebacker, with the Falcons offense being bunched up right here. And as soon as this ball is snapped, he's taking his read step, is quickly able to identify the run coming his direction. So without any hesitation, he's violently attacking number 5's block. In the future, he could do a better job of attacking his outside shoulder, but this does help other players on the back half make this play. He eats up this block and nearly is able to make the play on the back here. Even with all these positives to Chase Lucas's game though, there are some areas of concern and some areas you should know about his game overall head forward, with probably the most notable in my opinion just being his gambling tendencies can sometimes lead to big plays on the offense. I mean, imagine on that 4th and 1 play if he jumped that route and the wide receiver caught it rather than it being a PBU. On top of that, physically, Lucas doesn't have the longest arms, so bigger bodied wide receivers and tight ends could potentially outcatch him at times. Still, every single time I've turned on Chase Lucas's tape this year for San Francisco, he's looked like one of the better, if not the best defensive back on the field for the 49ers. So headed forward, I do think he should take the rookie spot in Upton Stout, and not even because I don't like Stout, I do, but I don't know how you take someone off the field like Chase Lucas. Every single time I've watched him, and I mean every single time, he's one of San Francisco's most dominant players on the field. So headed forward, I think that he's just ready to continue to put up this level of production. Sometimes it takes the player a couple of years to catch on, and I do think that's the case with Lucas. He's playing like a top tier nickel right now. But ultimately, these are just some of my thoughts on Chase Lucas's most recent outing against the Falcons and why I believe he should replace Upton Stout going forward. And now, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you think the 28-year-old nickel should replace the rookie? Or would you rather just see Upton Stout continue to develop by getting those starting reps? It would also mean a ton to me if you did enjoy this video, if you could go ahead and like and subscribe. It truly helps out the channel a ton. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.